In 2014, it was simply Bahamazing.
Last year we had an event consultant. The event was new to the Bahamas, and so the event consultant took the lead pretty much on establishing a lot of the blueprint in terms of the way the organization would be established, in terms of the way we would run our planning. This year we've been doing it without the benefit of that event consultant. We've been doing it specifically from an organizational standpoint of Bahamians.
We are in full operations mode, but we are not resting on our laurels because we recognize that there's still a lot of work to be done, and all hands on deck, and we're working seriously to ensure that all the deadlines are met and that the event comes off to the level of expectation that we all have set for ourselves.
Last year, the first ever, I think went extremely well. We got lots of international publicity, all of it favorable. Behind the scenes, we are aware of a few things that could have been done better, and that's what we're going to do this year. We're going to make it really an outstanding event.
Now the journey towards the encore performance is in high gear, with a full complement of Bahamians managing and executing the process.
We, from an organizational standpoint, have been able to take the benefits of last year's planning, the experiences that we garnered last year, and we put that into practice. We know that we'll have some hiccups along the way, but we've got the relationship with the IAAF persons directly. So our senior directors of operations are dealing directly with the representatives from Seiko and Canon. Our marketing directors is dealing directly with the IAAF marketing directors. So that working relationship, removing sort of the bottlenecks and the stoppages, is allowing us to function a lot better this year.
We were under the impression that the IAAF were very controlling and not willing to, they wanted everything going their way. Now, they are in charge and we have to follow their rules and regulations. But there are several areas where if we make a suggestion, they don't just dismiss it out of hand. For example, if you remember from last year, the Eastern Stand, we began the event at 5 o'clock. I don't know what the temperature was, but it was in the high 80s, I'm sure, and people just couldn't take it. They were here, but it looked as though the stands were empty because they were all trying to find some shade somewhere. And even though that was a convenient time for European television, we suggested that it would be better for us if the event started later. And they accepted that, and we're going to start at 7 p.m.
Like all major international events hosted in the Bahamas, the assistance of government agencies is critical.
We have established a government agency committee that meets every Tuesday morning, and that represents all arm of the government agencies that are involved in making this event truly a national event. Because without their support, the event could not happen. For example, we have the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, we have the police force, we have customs, we have immigrations, we have Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Ministry of Health. We have all of the government agencies that involve in this. And we view this as nothing less than a big event such as the Chogam or whatever, where there needs to be collaboration and cooperation among all entities to ensure that the event is successful.
The structured, systematic approach of the management team is producing positive results.
I don't think we're behind schedule on anything, but there's still a lot to be done. And Paul Hardy and Bob Hirsch, the senior vice president of the IAAF, were both here last week. They seem very satisfied, actually. In fact, I think we know a few things that need doing that they thought were already well in hand, and they were very happy with all the people they saw, the senior directors and so on. So I think we're in good shape.
There are areas in which we are moving along in the direction that we ought to. We're at the stage where we should be. There are a few areas that we're actually a little ahead of the game. There are a few areas where we're not where I think we need to be, and those are the ones that we're diligently working on.
So the invitation is extended to corporate Bahamas to come on board.
We have sponsorship coordinators and friends coordinators that are also working with our sponsors and our potential sponsors. All those elements are in place. As I said earlier, we are in full operations mode, and so we're leaving nothing to chance. Our people are very accountable to ourselves and to themselves for the work that needs to be done and that extends to the competition committee, that extends to the volunteers. Persons will not be hearing a lot about the volunteer drive. That is simply because last year we had some 820 persons that had volunteered, and the volunteer department is going through that database, and persons who would be involved with it are being contacted, and so that drive is not as intensive as it was last year, because we already identified those persons for the most part that would be a part of it. And so all elements behind the scenes are in full operation.
The leadership team is focused and committed to delivering an even greater Bahamazing experience in 2015.